Hello and welcome to Hidden History. The Great Exhibition of 1851 was a World's Fair held in Hyde Park, London, in the United Kingdom, in a glass structure called the Crystal Palace. According to the official narrative, this World's Fair lasted 6 months, and when the Great Exhibition finished on the 15th of October 1851, the Crystal Palace was then moved 21 miles on horse and cart to be reconstructed at Sydenham Hill, which became known today as the area of Crystal Palace. We are going to look deeper into this story and see if we can solve the mysteries behind this World Fair. This was the largest building in the world at the time of construction, taking 5,000 workers to construct the Crystal Palace in Hyde Park, starting in August 1850 and only taking a record-breaking 9 months to construct. Only 9 months to construct the largest building in the world at the time. But where are the construction photos? Where are these 5,000 workers who would have had to have been highly skilled in construction? The Great Exhibition opened on the 1st of May 1851 and had over 6 million visitors, showcasing machinery, technology, arts and culture, and much more. The size of the building was 1,851 feet long, with an interior height of 128 feet, covering a land size of 990,000 square foot, which is stated to have been built in 1850 and apparently designed by Joseph Paxton. The 990,000 square foot building, with its 128 foot high ceiling, was completed in 39 weeks. The Crystal Palace boasted the greatest area of glass ever seen in a building. It astonished visitors with its clear walls and ceilings that did not require interior lights. When you do the calculations to the construction of this World's Fair and look at the narrative we've been given, it would be near impossible to complete this building even in today's age at such rapid speed. So this poses the possibility that these buildings were already there. And if that was the case, why have we been given this narrative? What was wanting to be concealed? After the Great Exhibition had finished, only 6 months later, on the 15th of October 1851, the Crystal Palace was then taken down, transported and moved to Sydenham Hill, where it was reconstructed. This is the official history we have been given, but let's look into this deeper, as there are too many unanswered questions to this narrative. It is stated that the glass panels and iron structures were dismantled in Hyde Park, then taken 21 miles on horse and cart. Thomas Younghusband organised the 300 carts and horses over a period of 21 days, taking 17 to 18,000 tonnes of iron, glass and other materials, even a tree, through the cobbled Victorian streets of London. Panes of glass 21 miles from Hyde Park to Sydenham Hill in horse and cart. This is the official story we have been given. Let's start with the construction of the Crystal Palace in Hyde Park. How was the largest building in the world at the time constructed in 9 months? The iron structure completely fitted, but also the 293,000 panes of glass that were installed in the palace, all in 190 days. According to the simplicity of Joseph Paxton's design, the entire structure was assembled at rapid speed with a team of 80 men, fixing 18,000 panes of sheet glass in 1 week, with no machines, all by hand. Not forgetting that they would have to transport the glass in a horse and cart to Hyde Park. The glass panes were made by the Chance brothers, a glass manufacturer from Smethwick, Birmingham, in the Midlands of England. They shipped the 293,000 panes of glass to London Hyde Park, travelling 215 kilometres along canals on boats to cover the iron structure in Hyde Park. The Chance brothers were a pioneering company for the industry of glass, creating many types of panels of glass, but they were also famous for creating the optical glass for lighthouses in the 19th and 20th century. The Crystal Palace, built for the Great Exhibition of 1851, was a symbol of the industrial age, displaying the best in British technology and innovation. Some of this technology included locomotives, telescopes, the world's largest diamond called the Koh-i-Noor, which originated from Persia, Celtic jewellery, also the weather prophet, which was a machine that could predict the weather, but also an electric telegraph. These were very advanced technologies for the time and could have been a reformatting of technology that already existed in the old world technologies. In recent years, researchers explain the fast construction of the Crystal Palace was due to British Standard Whitworth, which was the first national screw thread standard. This may explain how the iron girders were fitted, but what about the vast amount of glass installed? All done in a 9-month time period. Although steam power was available, electric tools were not. Construction methods were very limited. These are just a few of the points that make up this bizarre World's Fair. What is very strange is there are no construction photos of the Great Exhibition, only drawings, and none of them show large numbers of construction workers. You would think that such an important occasion, at least some photos are taken besides all the illustrations you find. The biggest question is, how was 1 million square foot of glass produced so fast and then transported 215 kilometres from Smethwick in Birmingham? So how is this official story correct? And what if we are not getting the truth to how this incredible structure was created? Why would we be lied to about the construction method? And what if this building was already there? Once you look into the history to many of these old world buildings that were apparently constructed in the Victorian period, you will find missing building records, redacted information, and left with many questions to how these were built. So what if this Crystal Palace was already here? And if so, why have we been given another version to his story? Was it possible that these glass houses were something more than we have been told? What if they could generate some type of electricity? Were they possibly built during the Great Frost in the late 16th century and helped people grow crops? What if these were producing a form of electro-culture that wasn't so fitting for the industrial age? Energy was to be paid for, and the industrialists would make sure of that. The Great Exhibition of 1851 in Hyde Park finished after 6 months and ended on the 15th of October 1851. In 1852, the palace was then moved by Thomas Younghusband, who took 17 to 18,000 tonnes of glass and metal over a 21-day period in horse and cart to Sydenham Hill, where they reconstructed the palace to a slightly smaller scale. But how, again, was this possible? We are given a story that is near ridiculous, and somehow we are meant to accept this. The Crystal Palace then opened at Sydenham Hill after finishing construction in 1854, showcasing advancements in architecture and engineering of the time. The Sydenham Palace was further developed to serve as a cultural venue, hosting art exhibitions, concerts and various events, becoming a centre for entertainment and education. Its extensive gardens and fountains provided a picturesque setting. There was a dinosaur garden depicting dinosaurs. The venue attracted visitors from all over the world. The fine arts courts had Egyptian temples, Greek sculptures, presenting humanity with a version of how reality was constructed, showing us how we have progressively moved from the agricultural age to the industrial age. There was a 4,500 pipe organ, a concert room, and other performances. This was a huge building with ornate decoration within its interior, rebuilt in less than 2 years. When the Russian writer Fyodor Dostoevsky visited the reconstructed palace in 1859 in Sydenham Hill, his comments were, "You feel something final has taken place and ended." Was he possibly referring to this old world and the birth of the automated industrial age? The Crystal Palace symbolised Victorian aspirations and this era's fascination with progress, industry and culture. The fine arts courts had Egyptian temples, Greek sculptures, presenting humanity with a version of history, showing us how we have progressively moved from the agricultural age to the industrial age. Over the years, the palace underwent various changes and ultimately fell into disrepair, with the original building being severely damaged by fire in 1936. So again, the construction is still very suspicious, and that leaves too many questions. What if we again consider this building was already there, and this structure had the ability to generate energy? Was this the real reason for its destruction? There was a pneumatic railway in the Crystal Palace in Sydenham Hill that started running in 1864. This was an underground railway train that would have also harnessed the power of the atmosphere to propel its carriages. It was a method of propulsion that would still blow people's minds if it were in use today. It worked like a pea shooter shooting through to the other side. This was on the Waterloo and Whitehall pneumatic railway line and connected the Crystal Palace at Sydenham Hill to central London. The history to the pneumatic railways is quite incredible, as this was very advanced technology using steam-powered pumps to create a vacuum in a tube laid between the tracks. These pneumatic railways were repurposed mid-1800s and used all over the world in New York, Ireland, France and European countries to transport mail. But again, were these pneumatic rail systems already here? What becomes very interesting is that there were many crystal palaces built around the world, apparently due to the success of the 1851 Great Exhibition. 1853 was the New York Crystal Palace, 1865 in Portugal, Brazil, Slovenia and even Australia, all again with no construction photographs. So again, were these buildings already there? Were these buildings able to harness a type of energy which didn't fit the new industrial age? Although there was a huge amount of construction in the Victorian age, there was also a lot of repurposing, deletion and readjusting to our history. Natural electricity has been here since 600 BC, according to official records. But it's been here since the beginning of time, and we have harnessed it in many ways in the past. The industrial age wanted people to get used to debt banking, paying for your energy, your cost of living, so the elite could maintain their position of power. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You can also join the members section where there is lots of exclusive content. See you in the next video.